Here for 5 minutes, and I would like to start with our chairman, Mr. Westerman.
Thank you, Mr. Lamalfa. Again, thank you to the witnesses for being here. Mr. Reynolds, I just want to get a clear answer for the committee and for the American people. Do you have any plans or discussions ongoing regarding housing migrants at additional sites located in the national park system?
There is no other requests for use of sites beyond the Floyd Bennett Field that you've mentioned, or any plans that I can offer or speculate on.
Can you assure concerned Americans that their national parks will not be used to house any additional migrants?
I can assure you that we will review everything for a legal basis, and a conservation protection is job one.
So on August 21st, the Daily News reported that New York Governor Hochul stated that, quote, she had been in negotiations with the White House for months, end quote, over the lease at Floyd Bennett Field, and that, quote, the federal government had previously taken the position that shelters cannot be built on Interior Department property, end quote. For the record, can you please provide the committee the names of the employees at the White House, Office of the President, Department of the Interior, and the National Park Service that participated in these months-long negotiations, as well as an explanation for what made them change their mind about the policy?
At my level of the organization, what I can tell you is that we knew that the state of New York approached the administration. After they had done so, the Department of Homeland Security had visited Floyd Bennett Field, I think last spring, and again, maybe in late summer. And when you have such a complex set of decisions, as well as how fast the humanitarian crisis seemed to be, there have been so many folks in the middle of this, Mr. Westerman. I'm not sure there is one person, but I know that the state of New York approached the administration. We were asked to get the job done.
Was there some kind of an emergency declared so that NEPA could be waived?
No, my understanding is no emergency was declared, but there was a humanitarian crisis of some urgency.
So could this be a pattern in other Park Service lands where there's no emergency, but NEPA and ESA and other environmental protections could be waived?
Well, I can't speculate on what might come. I would imagine that there's very few circumstances that are as unique as the Floyd Bennett Field situation, being in downtown New York.
So is that, in your opinion, does that follow all laws and regulations to waive NEPA without an emergency declaration?
I can say that we actually didn't waive NEPA. It was done under a special provision called alternative arrangements, and it is in the CFR. It's unusual. I would be happy to also detail that out more. We've got attorneys that would explain and walk through the CFR steps that were used.
So how long did it take to do that process?
I can't recall exactly, but it was very quick. I would say a matter of weeks.
When we were at Floyd Bennett Field, we were told within a week it was pushed through. That was record time, as you're probably aware, for any kind of environmental analysis to take place, which makes it sound like somebody very high in the administration said, get this done. What changed the Park Service's mind? And according to Governor Hochul, initially the Park Service or Interior Department said, we don't do things like this, but all of a sudden there was a change of mind.
I'm not privy to those negotiations, but I can tell you that I can assure you, sir, and the American people, that there's a basis in law for how this went about, and we have posted all of those things up on the nps.gov website. If you go there and look, there's the director's decision memos and also the environmental analysis.
So this could be a precedent if somebody wants to do something, say in my hometown of Hot Springs National Park, we could just go through a less than a week process to waive all regulations and make that happen.
I think that the health and safety humanitarian crisis is what drove this. If those conditions were to exist, I think there'd obviously be reviews. But again, I think this is a very unique situation that happened there.
Mr. French, at which sites are the Forest Service observing the most foot traffic by illegal migrants through the National Forest System?
Generally, the most foot traffic we have is through the Coronado National Forest and the Cleveland National Forest.
What environmental impacts are being observed as a result of illegal immigration through Forest Service lands?
There is some natural resource degradation, but primarily it's dumping trash.
I've seen a lot of that myself down there, and it's amazing. I think the statistics were 8 or 9 pounds of trash per migrant. So, multiply that times a couple of million, that's a lot of trash to be picked up. I'm out of time. I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you, Mr. Westerman.